Welcome, everyone, to the Muskie Sports Network. I'm Tom Caudill, and joining me today for Coffee with Coaches is Muskingum football defensive coordinator Nehemiah Bowie. Nehemiah, welcome to Coffee with Coaches.
Thank you. Thank you. It's glad to be on here.
You know, Nehemiah, just to get this out here, Coffee with Coaches presented by Jennings Java. If you're looking for that fresh roast experience, JenningsJava.com. Daniel Jennings, a former Muskie student athlete here on campus for men's soccer, has gone on to do some really great things with Jennings Java. So JenningsJavas.com for that fresh roast experience. Nehemiah, we were talking a little bit. This is a good opportunity here for the Muskie Nation to get to know you a little bit better, and especially in this new role. First of all, just congratulations on coming back to Muskingum as a defensive coordinator, and I'm looking forward to a few of these questions and get it rolling here. Just tell us, where did you grow up at? When did you first have that love for football?
Yeah, originally from Columbus, Ohio, from a real big family, 8 brothers, 1 sister. So my love for football just kind of came really my entire life. My dad was really into football, but we didn't start playing football until high school. So watching 2 of my older brothers play really kind of, grew that love in me and that competition inside of me.
What school did you go to in Columbus?
I was actually homeschooled. So I was homeschooled, and I ended up playing for a club team called Columbus Crusaders.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. The first time I ever heard of Columbus Crusaders, I'm from Vermillion, Ohio, and they were an independent for a couple of years, and they're no league. Yeah. And I saw their schedule one year, and it said Columbus Crusaders. So I actually drove down from Vermillion to watch a game there of the Crusaders. And then, just as a note for your family, I remember being at a John Carroll football game and got a picture of your little brother who's in the stands really rooting you on. I thought it was such a cool picture to see that, and then to find out that it was your brother up there in the stands. When did you start thinking about college? How did Muskingum come into play?
Yeah, I mean, I knew I wanted to play college football when I played. So, that whole going through that recruiting process and everything. I was actually originally committed to another OAC school and kind of just came to Muskingum on a whim. And then just loved the environment, the community, the people I met, from coaches all the way to staff, really made me feel at home. So that just, as soon as I walked off campus, I knew this was it for me.
Well, that was awesome. I mean, loved having you here on campus. I mean, so involved in so many activities off the football field as well. When you think back about some of your favorite memories, moments as a Muskie, what pops into your head?
Oof. A lot of good moments. I'll just give a couple. Obviously, I met my wife here, so I have to say that. Have to say that. So big moment. We met sophomore year. Outside of that was just every day going to practice. Like I really enjoyed practice. Going out there. Great day to be a Muskie. Every day was big for me. So practices were my favorite.
I mean, awesome that you met your wife here. I mean, that's got to be. I mean, we're heading to Valentine's Day here, so that's a great plug right there. At what point in time did you start thinking that coaching could be a career path?
That was really actually kind of late. So it didn't happen until that COVID spring. We had some movement here on staff, and Coach Donnelly was elevated. I worked closely with him trying to, teach the linebackers a little bit of his scheme. And he was like, hey, you kind of have a knack for this coaching thing. Just think about it. So, obviously ran it by the wife and everything, and she was on board. So that's when I went for it.
Let's take a step back real quick. I mentioned that you were heavily involved off the football field on campus. Now in a role, defensive coordinator for Muskingum. I mean, how do you relay that message on to your guys about how important it is to also be active in other areas besides football?
Yeah, I mean, when I'm talking to our guys and, prospective students, I always tell them college is what you make it. And for me, college is about, expanding your mind, your boundaries. A lot of people are actually surprised when I tell them when I got here, I was an introvert, very reserved to myself. But after that first year, getting involved with Black Student Union, getting involved with SAC, admissions and things like that, that really just kind of, took me out of my shell. You learn more about yourself, when you try those different things. So that was big for me.
I'm going to tell you, Nehemiah, I loved it because you were a go-to here on our campus. I mean, you really represented the Student Athlete Advisory Committee so well, the Black Student Union. For somebody who started off as an introvert, you definitely didn't end that way. And really a face on our campus for so many different organizations and for Muskingum as a whole. After graduation, you ended up at Denison. How did that come about?
Yeah, so, right away after I had that conversation with Coach Donnelly, my wife, I was like, well, there's only one thing to do. I emailed every D3 school pretty much in Ohio and in the Midwest and just Luckily, Coach Hayden and Coach Rucker over at Denison, emailed me back and gave me a shot. So it was really just email blast.
Hey, and that's how it works, right? I mean,
Yeah.
all it takes is one. So let's jump to some other fun questions here, and then we're going to circle back around to bring it back to Muskingum. When it comes to how you approach your daily work, I mean, where did you get that from? Who influenced you?
My parents are big influences. The more, as I've grown and got older, my dad is a major one for me. He's really set that great example of, working when you're tired, working when it's hard, really instilled that work ethic. So those two are really big for me.
What about, how do you prefer to start your day?
Yeah, actually, just over these last couple of years, I've really gotten into stretching and meditating in the morning. So, I get up at like 4 or 5, just depending on the day, and I take time to meditate, pray, stretch, really just relax my mind and everything. So that's how I prefer to start.
That's awesome. What about, where do you find the energy at once you're here at work?
Yeah, I think it just goes back to how I was raised from my parents. My dad always said, "Be excellent at everything you do." So when I'm here, I'm just trying to fulfill that. Continue to be excellent, do everything at a high level. So that, I don't let him down, I don't let myself down.
What about outside of work? Where do you find that joy and energy?
My wife and my daughter, those are my girls. They give me all the joy in the world.
That's awesome. I mean, I can't wait to see them here, on campus again and at the games, cheering on the Muskies. What's something work related that you've accomplished that you're proud of?
I think up to this point, in my short career would be coming back to Muskingum. I always knew I wanted to, in some capacity, come back. And just being able to have the opportunity this early is an accomplishment for me. And obviously, the job's not finished, but I would say this is the biggest stepping stone so far.
What about, what's something that most people don't know about Nehemiah?
So, I mean, people that went to school with me know I did music, and I think we actually worked a couple of times with music and stuff. But actually, my dad does music licensing as well, and so I did some projects with him. And so I actually have songs like on TV. Actually, I have me and him have a song on All American. So that's something that not a lot of people know about. But yeah.
That is awesome. I do remember some of your original music and things that were crafted to play at events and different things. I mean, so much talent there, Nehemiah. What's something you've seen recently that's made you smile?
So actually, I just got back from Florida with my wife and daughter, and watching her play in the pool for the first time was just pure joy and pure bliss.
Having a newborn, having your daughter. I mean, like for me right now, my two sons are 17 and 14, but still remember those days of the first time in the pool and floating in the water and different things. I mean, just priceless moments that you will cherish forever. What about, who's somebody who's giving you some good advice?
Oof, I have so many. I don't know. I have so many, ranging from family and coaching buddies. I would say that the person that's giving me the most advice is probably one of our former coaches, Coach Cruzen. Actually, when I got into this coaching profession, was just like, be yourself. And you always hear that outside of work, but just finding your way, especially being so young into this profession, is just being yourself and being willing to put yourself out there and understand that people will accept you for who you are is probably the greatest advice.
There you go. And Coach is still connected back to Muskingum as his wife, Hallie, is our head volleyball coach here on campus. Nehemiah, if I sat down with three of your good friends and we were just talking about you, what are the words that they would use to describe you?
Dependable. I think funny. I think I'm pretty funny, and hard worker. Those are like really big to me.
I mean, if you have friends that view you in that manner, I mean, you're doing the right things. Those are some great words. What about a movie? If we're filming the Nehemiah Bowie story, I mean, like, here we are. I mean, you're here, the kid coming back to campus now as the defensive coordinator. Something that maybe when you graduated was a dream for you to come back to Muskingum in a capacity like this. Who are we going to try to seek to play you?
Well, if he's not too old, a lot of people say I look like Michael B. Jordan. So if he's willing to, throw the dreadlocks out again and come back and play me, he can do it.
There you go. We'll get that going for you. What about superpower? If you had one, what would you want it to be?
If I could have one superpower, it would probably be to read minds, and not for the reason that you would think. I'm a very empathetic person. So just being able to read and know what somebody's going through and meet them at that level, I think would be pretty cool.
we kind of live in a time there. We kind of went through the COVID a little bit where people kind of stayed themselves a little bit more. Is there an everyday food for you? Like if you had one option that it was your go-to for here on out, what's it going to be?
Ramen noodles, the chicken flavor. I ate that a lot in college, and I still eat it a lot now. Yeah. I have my wife buy the big packs, and I just go crazy on those.
That's awesome, and we know ramen's definitely cost friendly. My youngest son is on that, but he's on the chili flavor right now, so it's
okay.
It's interesting. Cool stuff there. What about 3 apps? If you could only have 3 apps on your phone, what are you gonna have?
The ones I probably use most: Twitter, Gmail app, and I guess Apple Music. Love music, so.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to be looking forward to the football pregame playlist next year. Now that we can have it'll have some more Nehemiah flair on it, maybe some original music on there.
Maybe.
Hey, what about a bucket list? Do you have a bucket list? Is there stuff on it that you want to check off?
I don't have a true bucket list. I mean, I have some things I'd like to do. Like these last few years, I just really want to start trying to go to like the major bowls. So like I went to the Peach Bowl with my wife last year, went to the Sugar Bowl this past year with my 2 brother-in-laws. So that's cool. I think I want to be able to hit all those, whether that's as a fan or coaching.
So Peach Bowl. So Ohio State versus Georgia. You were there this year, huh?
No, I was at last year. I was at the this year I was at Sugar Bowl, Alabama versus Kansas State.
Oh, still a good game there. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah. What about this? And then we'll get back to some Muskie related questions. Is there a TV show, anything that you binge, that you watch?
Yeah, always on my TV is Friends. Like pretty much always. If I'm not watching Sports Center, it's Friends.
Hey, that's awesome. That's a great show.
Yeah.
A good original comedy out there. That a lot of people got some good starts out of that. Nehemiah, let's circle back around to Muskingum. When you heard that, Coach Donnelly was leaving, that Muskingum was going to be looking for a defensive coordinator, what was going through your head at that time?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing was like, honestly, am I ready to even put my name out there and go through this? So, leading on some of those people like my wife, like Coach Hayden, Coach Rucker, even Coach Donnelly, I gave him a call. Kind of hearing some of their feedback was, first thing in my head was like, am I actually going to be ready for this? So.
And then ultimately you submitted your materials, you got interviewed. Take us back to that moment when you got the call from Coach Yiter, which ultimately was an offer to come back to campus to be the D coordinator. What was that like?
A lot of relief. The waiting was horrible. Me and my wife got to the point we just wanted to know if I got it or didn't, either way, but a lot of relief and excitement, just to get ready and be able to come back.
And now you're back on campus. We know it's where you met your wife at, your undergraduate career. So much of your foundation happened here on this campus. What's it been like being back on campus for you in this new role?
Awesome. I mean, I really enjoyed my time at Denison. Loved working with the people, but it's just different when it's your alma mater. Having that true love and passion for the school. Walking back up and looking at John Glenn Gym where I used to play in river basketball. Just looking at your old locker. Things like that. Sitting even in this office where I used to have coaches meetings. With the previous guys, it's just all kind of crazy and surreal.
Yeah, on the other side of the desk now. I mean, sitting there and explaining what the game plan is. We talked about it a little bit, but what can we expect to see from the Muskie defense moving forward under your tutelage?
Yeah, high intensity, number one, but as a structural and scheme standpoint, we're going to stay our 3-4 basis with a little bit more too high on the back end. We want to do our best to look simple to the offense, but move to different things and be kind of complex post snap. So really disguising and getting after some people.
Nehemiah, since you left campus and now you're back, we've got this new state-of-the-art facility, the Bullock Health and Wellness Complex. As you look at that, and it's kind of right behind, if you had a window in the back of your office, you'd probably be able to see it. How does the BHWC impact the future direction of the football program?
Oh, it just elevates, Muskingum. I talked about that community earlier. So now you bring that facility on, something new, something that students are really wanting now on those recruiting visits. It just adds to that. Now you get the community, you get the relationship aspect from our coaches, from our staff and everything, and now you get the facilities as well. So I think it's big, for Muskingum.
What about this, Nehemiah? There's a lot of high school players out here who want to play at that next level. Obviously, Muskingum's a great option for them to come to. How do high school recruits get a hold of you and learn more about Muskingum football?
Yeah, I'm very active on Twitter. I'm very, very active on Twitter. So Coach, capital N, capital B, Bowie, Bowie, or you can text me, 740-255-6333. I'm still learning my new number. So.
Yeah, that the history of Coaches of Coffee. That's the first time a cell phone has been put out there for the world. Look at that.
I'm a personal guy. Personal guy.
I love that. I can't wait till when this video gets released and people start texting you that they want to be a Muskie. Every day is a great day to be a Muskie. Love
yeah,
it.
it is.
Yeah, Nehemiah, this is Coffee with Coaches presented by Jennings Java. Jennings Java for that fresh roast experience. Make sure you visit JenningsJava.com, and Daniel Jennings will certainly take care of you right now out of Columbus, but certainly can ship this anywhere in the world. I want to thank you for taking time today to let Muskie Nation get to know you a little bit better. I want to again welcome you back. It's great having you back on campus. Was really excited when I heard from Coach Yider that you were going to be elevated into this position. Happy for you and your family, and looking forward to seeing you around campus and working with you as we progress towards football next fall.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
All right. Thanks a lot, and go Muskies.
Yes, sir. Thank you.